Welcome to the Horror Hangout podcast, where two bearded film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time. My name is Luke Condor with Kate, and I'm joined by a certain Mister.
A certain Mister. A certain someone. It's Mr. Ben Errington.
How the devil are you?
Good, mate. I'm
I've got to
very
say,
good.
you're looking good. You're looking healthy. You're looking like you've been eating some oranges. You're looking tip top in terms of. Have you a Barocca? Are you on the Barocca at the minute?
I had a Barocca like 3 days ago.
Glowing.
You say that, but I've gone through my second bout of illness of 2019.
You're on a comeback now, I can tell.
I'm on a comeback, but second bout of illness in 2019.
No,
that is
I'm saying
annoying.
I've got a cold, and I had a sickness not too long ago. Yeah.
What's going on, eh? Literally, the fabric of society is crumbling around us. That's how we're all going to go. We're all going to get the sniffles.
Brexit, that's what I'll do to you.
Brexit calls the sniffles.
I need to get some Barocca. So today we're going to be doing Netflix's new horror movie that kind of popped up out of nowhere. But before we do that, have you got any other horror Barocca?
Horror Barocca.
That you want to talk about?
Do you know what? This is probably the first week of doing this podcast that I'm going to say I've literally watched nothing else. I've not watched a damn thing. I've been ploughing.
Don't think I have.
No, I've been ploughing my time into Resident Evil 2
on
the PlayStation 4. So yeah, I've spent a lot of any spare moment I get going, I'll crank on with this. So I have finished the first story, the first playthrough, and it's one of the best remakes of a game I think ever. It's captured the essence of the original. It's recreated all the moments you want to see, and it's elaborated on stuff as well. And in terms of survival horror, it's pretty damn terrifying.
Yeah,
it plays
pretty fantastic.
Oh yeah, it plays very similar to Resident Evil 7, but like with a bit more. Starts off very, very horror orientated. Lots of jumps, lots of creepy creaks, and loads of bits where you're just like, I don't want to go in that room. As the time goes on, there's a little bit more of an action element, I guess, in various bits. But yeah, it is a great remake. Game that keeps giving. For the more you play it and the more you do things, you unlock different things, and so.
So, are you going to do another playthrough straight away?
I think so, yeah. So the scenario A with Leon I did, and I'm going to do scenario B with Claire because it fills in a few of the gaps in the story as well.
Yeah.
I think for the most part it is very similar. You go through a lot of the same areas, pick up a lot of the same items, but I think there's just a slight side story bit that's new that you experience. So.
It'd be interesting. So I've never played Resi 2 before. Do you feel like I'd have more fun because it's like all a new surprise, or less fun because it's not got that nostalgic element?
I think it's definitely the kind of game you just have. If you haven't played Resident Evil 2 before, I don't think that's going to affect anything at all. I think you're going to enjoy this game for what it is, which is, a really great game. And one of the things I did just now, in terms of a nostalgic hit, is you can like swap out the new soundtrack for like the old soundtrack that was on PS1. And that just adds a certain je ne sais quoi to the whole experience. But yeah, like the gore is unlike anything I've seen before. Like you'd shoot, it's so satisfying shooting zombies. Like sometimes you feel like you want to conserve ammo. Sometimes you're like, I'm going to shoot this zombie everywhere I can just to hear the different noises. Jaws hanging off. Some of the zombie noises are perfect.
Isn't there like a way to play as like a SWAT team member?
Yeah, so there's a extra game mode called the Fourth Survivor, using a character called Hunk, who is like a SWAT team, like umbrella SWAT team member who gets sent in to retrieve the G virus. So yeah, you play as him as like, that's more like a mini game though. It's not like a complete new thing. But there is some DLC coming out on the 15th of Feb, where you get to play as some minor characters from the story, and you get to experience a sort of section of their survival or escape or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, it's great, man. I think if you've never played Resident Evil 2 before, definitely do play Resident Evil 2.
As in this version?
Well, both. I'd say play both. If you've never played the original Resident Evil, have you played, what Resident Evil games have you played?
So
4 and 7, is that right?
4 and 7, yeah.
I think a good place to start is always from the beginning, but if you're keen to play this game, definitely play this game. But 2 and 3, I've got a real special place in my heart.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I took it out. I was watching a playthrough of some guy who was running away from Mr. X, and he was doing a speed run, and he must have glitched it out because he a second Mr. X spawned.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's like, he's like in a corner, and then like there's two of them coming down the corridors.
Oh
at
man,
both times.
Mr. X.
Yeah.
See, because the thing about like the original and the third game, Nemesis, is that when you escape from the Nemesis, you get to like a save room or you get somewhere quiet, and it doesn't follow you. But Mr. X kind of follows you everywhere.
Yeah.
To the point where you're just like, Jesus Christ, just leave me alone. There's like one or two places he can't go, but it makes the whole experience quite difficult. Sometimes you're doing a puzzle or you're trying to crack a safe, and he'll just walk in.
That sounds kind of annoying. But
definitely annoying. It'll just walk in and lamp you.
Yeah.
Which is just frustrating. I hate that when it happens in real life, you know. So I'm just trying to have a whack.
When you're trying to do, like sort a little puzzle,
do the washing up,
500-piece puzzle. Bloody hell! You can't figure out a piece, twisting it and turning it. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Your missus comes in and lamps you for not doing the pots.
Not doing the pot. You had some pots again, have you? Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, have you watched or done any?
I don't think I've watched that much. I've been watching some various TV shows, but not like kind of half-heartedly. But what I have done is read a comic co-written by a certain Andy Conduit Turner called Revenant, issue 1 of Revenant. So written by Dave Killian and Andy Conduit Turner, art by Beth Varney, and lettering by a Sir Robert Jones OBE. Sir
Robert Jones OBE. Wow.
Yeah. He decided not to put the OBE in the credits, but I'm pretty sure he has got an OBE.
Because he's so modest.
Exactly. That's why he got the OBE. He's so modest that they knighted him. Yeah.
If you're watching this on YouTube, here's the cover. There it is.
Yeah. So people who listen to this podcast will know that Andy regularly pops in and joins in the fun.
Mostly uninvited. He just pushes his way. He's like Mr. X. He just bombards his way into the podcast, punches us both, and then leaves.
It says a couple of words, a couple of hot takes, and then
and then leaves. There we go. And we don't invite him back for 2 in a row because you know when Andy's been on the show, we have our fill, need a break from him. Only joking, Andy.
So the comic, have you read it?
I have read it. I read it today. So I ordered my copy was it yesterday? I think I ordered my copy yesterday and it arrived today. I mean that's good service there.
I've not got a print copy, so how does it smell? Did it taste pretty good? Did he send it? Did he send it? Not in the post. I mean, like with.
No, he didn't. Well, a bit of Lynx Africa, I think I could smell.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Which is Andy's signature smell.
Yeah, that's how he's known. That's what he's getting his OBE for.
So this is set in. Victoria.
I'll tell you exactly when it's set. 1888, and I know that because it's Jack the Ripper, and that's 100 years before I was born. So,
interesting. Lightning doesn't strike twice.
No.
When Luke Buzzsaw was born.
No.
So yeah, Jack the Ripper story with a slight supernatural twist, supernatural edge. There's a little bit of a sort of mystery / horror, supernatural vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got like a detective guy. Well, sort of like a badass sergeant detective guy. I think he's essentially doing the Jack the Ripper killings, but because these women aren't your standard prosies.
Yeah.
They're
not your standard prosies. They're special.
They're
extra special.
Yeah, extra special.
Glowing red eyes.
Yeah. I think these are the Revenant. So he's taking them all out, and then he has to team up with a Revenant to take out the even bigger baddie. But like it's issue 1, so it does have like a cliffhangery ending, but it is a good cliffhanger. Like it's a very satisfying cliffhanger.
It's a very nice final page, I believe, with some great dialogue there. So yeah, if you like the sound of that, hordecomics.com.
Yeah,
is where this is going to be available.
And they've also got the Horde Comics anthology on there as well, which is really good. It's really worth checking out.
Yeah, I've got that too. I've got that here as well.
Did you get them both?
I bought this a while ago.
Did you get it on the crowdfunder? I got mine on the
Maybe I did. Maybe I got it after the crowdfunder.
Yeah.
Just to show my support. Yeah, but good stuff. Very exciting. Good. Signed as well.
Oh, lovely.
Oh,
lovely. So, what was I going to say? I also have a signed book that I've got here that you might be interested in. It's signed by a certain... Oh, I've lost the page. It's signed by a certain Clive Barker.
No way!
Yeah.
When, how, and why?
I just saw it online on his Facebook page. It's like a collection of essays and stuff, but it's got some of his paintings and illustrations in there. But
is that a new release?
I think it's like a re-release of something from a little while back. But
okay.
So this is copy 151 of 500. He's sort of signed them all. He's put a personal note in there for me. Haven't found it yet, but I'm sure it's in there.
Fuck you, Luke Condor. What does that one smell like? It's got to smell a little bit like
blood, obviously. Yeah, kind of like old blood.
He's Scouse, isn't he? Scouse.
Yeah. So tea bags and blood.
Tea bags and blood.
Yeah.
Classic lid appeal.
Also, when you open it, you know, those birthday cards have a microchip inside. This one plays Beatles songs.
Oh my god! Yeah. What a cliche. Which one?
Yellow Submarine.
Help!
Yeah, and that at the same time. It's a bit confusing.
Yeah,
but yeah. So there's one for every page. It goes through the entire great sets.
It's literally like 5 pages, but it's like the thickest read.
Yeah. But okay, so today's episode, we are talking about a certain velvet buzzsaw.
My favourite type of buzzsaw, a velvet one.
So, what is this film? You got some info?
Got some info. So, Velvet Buzzsaw is a 2019 American supernatural horror film written and directed by Dan Gilroy, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, Rene Russo, Toni Collette, Zawe Ashton. Is that how you say her name? Zawe Ashton. Sorry, it's not there. Tom Sturridge, Natalia Dyer. Sorry, loads of people. Loads of people in this, including John Malkovich. So this one kind of popped up, little trailer out of nowhere.
Dan Gilroy, is that a double-barreled surname? Is he posh?
No, it's Dan Gilroy, one word. So he was the dude who directed and wrote Nightcrawler, also starring Mr. Gyllenhaal. I wouldn't call it a horror, but it's got some very unnerving themes and moments and faces pulled by Jake Gyllenhaal.
I'm telling you, his eyes, people talk about him being a good actor, it's all in the eyes. I think of like Nightcrawler, he's had this sort of boogie-eyed thing. Donnie Darko, he looked down all the time. And then Prisoners, he couldn't stop blinking. He's blinking all the time. Prince of Persia, he had sand in his eyes. Probably I didn't see it.
Yeah, sand in his eyes, and he was always squinting. Do you know what? I forget that Jake Gyllenhaal was in Prince of Persia. Every time that piece of information comes, every time I hear it, it's like brand new information to me. I go,
yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, he was.
I've never seen it. I'm not interested in seeing it really, but
I've seen it, but I remember literally nothing about it.
Yeah.
Not even the fact that Jake Gyllenhaal was in it. It would seem. Yeah,
you've pushed that memory down deep. Never going to surface again.
So a trailer for this film dropped when? January? At some point in January.
It broke the horror internet. People were going mad for it.
People were going mad for it. But I mean, we are going to talk a little bit more about the trailer.
Yeah.
But I'll just talk about my relationship with trailers. Is that if I see there's a trailer for a film. Like, I want to see that trailer, and I get hyped by the trailer. And to be fair, trailers really do dictate what films I actually watch. Yeah. So, like, if I hadn't seen a trailer for something, I think it'd be rare to think that I would actually watch it. I'd want to see a trailer to see what I was getting into. Yeah. And I prefer teasers, because once these big Hollywood blockbusters are pumping out brand new trailers and TV spots every couple of weeks, you start to see a lot, and there's loads of stuff that appears in trailers that doesn't appear in films, which can be a bit of a weird experience when you're watching. But yeah, with this trailer, you kind of think it's for a Netflix film. Let's give it a gander. But there are at least 30 to 45 seconds too long.
Yeah.
And it seems to show pretty much every moment of tension and shock and scare, and it pretty much shows everything.
All the interesting bits.
Finish.
Yeah.
Which, usually when people say, "Oh, I don't want to watch a trailer because it shows absolutely everything," most of the time I go, it kind of, for me, it kind of, it helps, it aids my experience of that film. That I like seeing stuff in the film that I've seen in the trailer, and I get hyped. Do you know what I mean? I find it easy to take the visuals for what they are rather than try and piece together the plot from seeing the trailer.
Well, a trailer's supposed to set the expectations for the film. So for this, I haven't watched this trailer because I don't watch trailers, especially if they're kind of getting hyped up. I don't mind teaser trailers, so I can watch the Avengers teaser, and it just shows you a couple of images, and I know exactly what I'm going to get, and I know the flavour of it, and I'm excited for it. But for stuff like this, I got through. There was a period when I was watching trailer after trailer after trailer, and I didn't even need to see the films anymore. Like, I felt like I got my experience from that film just through the trailer.
It is a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because, as I said, for me, like, I can read a bit about a film and think, yeah, I want to see that, but I do kind of want to see some visuals so I can kind of get a flavour for it. But yeah, with this trailer, because I don't know if it's just because it's a Netflix release, but only got one trailer, and it was pretty hefty, and it kind of shows everything in chronological order.
So you get the full arc of the story as well.
Yeah, and I was just a bit like, I mean, there's so much this film could have been. I think my experience with the trailer probably ruined a lot of it for me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's kind of it's got a bit of an identity crisis, I think, this film. Don't know how you feel about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay, so I didn't watch the trailer. So I watched it. Actually, it came out, and I saw a load of people hating on it, saying it's boring. I saw people on Instagram saying they ducked out after an hour. They couldn't stand it because it was that boring. So I was kind of going in with like huge trepidation, like, oh, here we go. I'm going to have to sit down. I'm going to have to bear this film. And like, I enjoyed it.
It's not boring.
No, I thought it was
I
fine.
don't think I'd call it boring.
I think what's wrong with our attention spans if we can't watch a film? It's really well made. It's like it's got enough pace to it. It's got a good flow to it. Characters are interesting to watch.
I think it's got a good cast.
Yeah.
I don't know who I'm rooting for in this film. I feel like a lot of the characters are sort of pretty much all bastards in their own ways. Like they're all kind of all kind of suck. There's not one person who I'm kind of rooting for. I guess Jake Gyllenhaal was the only person with something of a moral compass, but I don't think it's evident until a certain point in the film where you think actually maybe he's kind of a good guy. There's another character, the main female, I guess. I thought
that she was our main character.
Not Rene Russo. Yeah, so exactly. So Zawe Ashton.
Yeah.
I thought she was the main character, but her character kind of just deteriorates into a bit of a fuck. I don't know. I'm going to say fuck nugget, but just a bit of a abhorrent sort of twat. Rene Russo's character is a bit of a nose. I'm just.
Well, so I couldn't tell. The only person who sort of gets away from it all is we'll talk about it properly in a bit, but John Malkovich, and I think it's because he's the only one who has no pretension. Like he's all about the actual art.
He's been there, he's done it, he's lived it. Yeah. So I mean, this film is like it's taking a swipe at the art world and the pretentious nature of it. That's one part of this film. It's like The Ring, whereas there's a thing that's haunted that's tracking down and killing people who have like benefited from its, benefited sort of financially from it.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like I don't know what else. What else is it?
Well, it's okay. I think the thing is, it introduces far too many characters purely for the sake that they're supposed to die. Yep. I think the haunting aspects of it, the actual gags aren't very good. There's there's a cat jump scare. Like the way people die is quite interesting, but the build up, the actual execution is very mundane. When I feel like if you get someone, there's a reason why James Wan and the Conjuring verse stuff works so well, because they're so good at delivering a gag. Even if you sort of know what's going to happen, they know how to raise your expectations, dip you, twist you around, and you know where you're going to go. But every time I saw it, every death was like
starts and finishes exactly as you would expect it to.
There's no surprises at all.
There's no surprises.
Well, I mean, it's difficult to say because the nature of the actual killing is kind of interesting. Because I mean, there's like monkeys and there's a big metal sphere and stuff. So those bits are kind of interesting, but they're not executed in an interesting way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they're very pedestrian and just a bit. You saw that come in. Nothing happens where you go, oh, I didn't expect that person to die, or oh, I didn't expect that person to die like that, or it is all a bit pedestrian. A hell of a lot of it happens. Like I don't know if I'm just looking back at the film, but so much of it seems to happen in a day I mean, like, night shouldn't necessarily always be associated with horror, but at the same time, so much seems to happen in the day that part of me's and under fluorescent lights that I'm kind of just thinking in my head, it really doesn't feel like a horror film. Loads of people die. There's a supernatural element, but
it's not scary, is it? I don't think
it's not
very
scary.
No.
It's
there's a whole thing of the rules of engagement. I'm not too sure who this thing is targeting and why, because it seems like anyone's kind of fair game. Even the people who are benefiting from the art, like there's people who aren't, who are still getting killed. Like the guy who does like DIY stuff as well. Like, I don't understand why he got snubbed.
I think if you associate yourself in any way with it, if you look at the art in the wrong way, it's coming for you. So yeah, we did have a joke before saying this was going to be the sequel to Vigo in Ghostbusters 2. The original. Yeah. I'm sure he's not the original haunted painting. But definitely our favourite.
Yeah.
We thought maybe Vigo was going to come out and be like, those fucking Ghostbusters stitched me right up. Now I've got all my other paintings. He rounded up all the other paintings in his gallery and went, right, we're going to fuck some people up.
Yeah. I think the actual art as well. So the visual style of the film is kind of pedestrian. Yeah, the art itself is pretty good. Like the actual visual art, like the Goya sort of looking paintings and stuff are amazing. But the way the film's filmed, I think it's kind of boring. There's a few interesting cityscape shots of LA, which were there in Nightcrawler as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's something very pedestrian about a film that is about things that aren't pedestrian. So unless that's what they were going for, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the brief description of the film is: after a series of paintings by an unknown artist are discovered, a supernatural force enacts revenge on those who have allowed their greed to get in the way of art. Yeah.
Was that it?
So that's it. That's it, mate. So I've obviously mentioned the actors, but Jake Gyllenhaal plays Morph van der Walt, who's like a art critic.
You can't stop critiquing everything and anything.
Can't stop critiquing everything. If he was here right now, he'd critique both of our hats.
Yeah.
And facial hair and headphones and all that shit. Rene Russo is Redora Hayes, who's like a art. What? Like she's a big deal.
Vivienne Westwood, sort of faux Vivienne
Meryl
Westwood.
Streep. She's like Meryl Streep in The Devil Wears Prada of the art world.
Yeah. But she's from a punk rock background. She's been in a band called Velvet Buzzsaw. That's nothing. Why is it called Velvet Buzzsaw? Just because she's got a tattoo and was in a band.
Also, that was the shittest tattoo I've ever seen in my life. I'd be like, get that covered up right now. For someone who loves art so much, she has got the words Velvet Buzzsaw and like a rotary blade on her back, and it looks like it was drawn by.
Maybe there's something thematic about that. That's like from her time as a punk, where
oh yeah, she's got a few tattoos actually, a few random words on her arm. Yeah, so Zawe Ashton is Josephina, who's like an up and coming art aficionado who's kind of she'll do anything to get ahead.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And then there's just like a lot of other characters who are like artists or people who are trying to
sell art, people who
sell art. Yeah, so you've got Toni Collette, who I didn't really understand Toni Collette's place in this film. Obviously, she's great.
I think it makes sense if I knew what job she does.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was like, what is your job?
Yeah.
There's a few artists like John Malkovich. There's like a handyman who's like, I'm not just a handyman, I also do some other shit.
Yeah.
There's like a gallery owner dude who's like
South African, I think, isn't he? That guy.
South African. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
He's South African. I know what you're thinking. Uncanny.
Yeah, it's good. Natalia Dyer as well, who plays a girl who just wants to have a job. I think she works for everyone at some point in the film.
Yeah, she does.
And
she's literally like, her CV is just packed. Yeah. So Natalia Dyer is from Stranger Things, isn't she?
Yeah.
So yeah, her CV, she works for everyone at some point. She's literally, I'll work for you for an hour. I'll work for you for a couple. And she's got a massive habit of discovering bodies.
Yeah. A massissive habit. Yeah.
I mean, after finding like 3 bodies, you just be like, the art world's not for me.
Yeah.
All right.
This isn't working out.
I like it. A lot of people turn up dead before people start making connections. A lot of the time, people start going, "Oh bloody hell, that's unfortunate. Oh, what happened to him? Oh Jesus, and that person as well." And then after a while, someone goes, "Maybe these are all connected." No.
Yeah, but how can you connect them other than just saying? But yeah, in fact, there's no police presence at all in the film. You think there would be someone
That's true,
investigating?
actually. Yeah, there is no police presence in this film. There's no one who just goes, "Hang on a minute, what's going on here? You bloody crazy, crazy artist types."
Probably just thinks that it's just a big art exhibition, big art
It's just
piece.
a bit yeah, exactly.
They're just
You
doing
could
a
probably get
Warhol.
away with that. You
Yeah.
just say, I know people have died, but it is just art. So I mean, unless you want to appear uncultured,
Yeah, you don't want to appear uncultured ever. So don't question it.
exactly.
I understand this.
Yeah,
Carry on. Yeah.
100%.
So the film starts with Morph Vanderwalt, Jake Gyllenhaal. He's attending a big exhibition. There's like artists of all type displaying. I think they're trying to sell like a convention. Everyone's trying to sell their stuff.
People are going, "You love this bit of art? Great."
And Jake Gyllenhaal's doing a really. I've never seen him be camp like this before. Like it's another level of camp. It's like almost like a pretentious camp where it's not like a natural camp.
No, it's not like a flamboyant over the top camp. It's like just a very pretentious.
Yeah.
So here, a couple of words to describe him. It says, bisexual, icy art critic, Morph Vanderwalt. Bisexual and icy.
Yeah.
There we go. I mean, it's true. Both of those things are true. But yeah, he kind of like he's slating everything, and people are sort of explaining to him, you just don't get it, or there's things like that. There's this sort of robot dude called Hobo Man who's like, it's not a character. It's just
Like
an art installation, and he says a few things like,
you be careful or something, or
I can save you.
Yeah, I can't save you. I think
I can't save you. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah. So we're kind of introduced to everyone. Introduced to Josephina, who's like just finds out her boyfriend's been cheating on her, so she's like, "Fucking hell."
Yeah.
She's having some problems at work with Rene Russo's character, who's like she's the icy one, if anyone is. She's like got no patience. She's like basically the
fiery, I guess then.
Fiery.
Yeah.
Just a bit nuts.
Yeah. And you sort of introduced very quickly to all the artists and all different styles of art. I think they're all kind of avatars for real sorts of artists out there in the real world. Not that I know because I'm uncultured like that.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks. And
just agreeing, mate. Sorry.
So we get the impression that there's a big like metal sphere as well, where with lots of holes, you can put your hand in it. It's supposed to. That's like the big piece of the exhibition. Everyone wants a bit of that.
Yeah, it's just got a load of macaroni cheese in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that'd be for me anyway. Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
What's that noise?
That's you're putting your hand in macaroni cheese.
Oh, okay. That sounds like an old 8-bit game of someone standing on slugs.
Exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Also.
So I think we get the impression that Morph and what's her name? Not Josephina.
When you said Morph, then the first thing I thought was it was the plasticine model man Morph from what was that from? Take Heart.
I don't know if I just thought it was called Morph.
Have they called him Morph because this film's about art?
Maybe, yeah.
What? There's another one called Neil Buchanan. In this.
What's the head called?
Bob Ross.
From
just called the Head.
There you go. He's in it. In fact, he looks a bit like Jake
Gyllenhaal. He does. When Jake Gyllenhaal's really getting animated with his face, he looks like the Head from Art Attack.
He does. But that's what he was going for. Yeah.
I wonder if anyone's made that. What word am I thinking?
That connection.
Yeah.
They have. We did it just now.
Yeah, we did.
Oh yeah.
That's it. We aren't uncultured after all.
Yeah. Morph is in a bad place in his relationship. He's not happy. I think he even cheats on his boyfriend with Josephina quite early on in the film.
Yeah, so we find that they went to somewhere. Did they go to Venice or something? And they had a bit of a fling there. So they've obviously got a lot in common. They're very sort of like similar people, I guess. They're on the same wavelength.
Yeah. So Morph has this kind of thing where he is adamant that he's integral to the artistic process.
Yeah.
Like he's adamant that he's not about selling art or anything like he's there to he's the critic. He's the needed critic for an artist to sort of further the art form.
And I guess he kind of thinks that he's he doesn't kind of like say that the things of his friends are good and the things of his non-friends are bad.
Yeah.
He tries to keep what word am I thinking of here?
Connection. Oh, no, that's the previous word you're trying to think
of. I'm really struggling with English today. My brain is kind of frazzled. I did try and open my door earlier with my debit card.
Are you trying to break it in like
I
Axel
took my
Foley
debit
style?
card out and like put it forward as if I was going to open a door. I was like, no, I need.
Did you
keys.
get like a regular chewing gum to for the lasers on the window? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They put the foil.
Broke into my own house.
Yeah. Okay, what were we saying? So they spend some time together. At some point, Morph leaves, and Josephina finds out that her neighbour in her apartment building has died. She goes into his building, into his flat, and she sees like all these amazing paintings everywhere. They're really kind of dark, oil, watercolor. I don't know.
Dark oil, loads of terrifying faces. They're quite hellish.
Yeah.
This is the dead man's called Vetril Dees, which is a lovely name.
Yeah. There's a thing that says, "Throw it all away." Like, don't spread the art around.
Yeah, don't spread the art around. I think do it yourself. Do it before you die, mate. If you're so worried about it.
So, I guess it all kicks off from there. What happens? So she takes it to Rene Russo, and then says, "I found this art. I'm selling it or something." Or she goes into a deal with her.
Yeah, and then Rene Russo sort of gets her lawyers involved to try to sort of cook up a story to try and say that she saved it from getting thrown away, so that they basically get the art. They get the rights to everything. And then everyone sort of starts to find out about Deese's work via different ways. Some ways which are just word of mouth. Other people sort of just see things and go, "Well, let's have a look at that."
Yeah.
So yeah, and then there's like a public display in which various professionals turn up, and
all the artists from the convention turn up, and they're all kind of moved in some way by the art.
Yeah. But then Morph at the same time. Morph. Every time I say Morph, it's just what noise does he make? He makes a noise, doesn't he? What noise does Morph make?
What was that macaroni cheese movie?
Is that Morph?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't really remember. I feel like that's
a little
my
plasticine
Prince of
dude, isn't he?
Persia. That's my Prince of Persia. I just don't remember ever watching it.
I see. Yeah, so Morph at the time, he's like, I'm going to do a bit of research into Deese because he's a very mysterious man.
He wants to write a book about him, doesn't he?
He wants to write a book about him. He's like, they can't find anything about him. You know, there was a period in his life where he kind of like vanished for years. So he starts doing a bit of research. He just basically goes on Wikipedia, I think, and starts finding out. And he finds out that Deese had a troubled, abusive childhood. He killed his dad. Can you believe it? And he had like terrible mental illness. And he was locked away in a bad place, in a mental hospital for the criminally insane. That was where his years were, the years he was unaccounted for were.
Yeah.
And then I guess he did the paintings afterwards. Afterwards, he was like, "Oh, I've got since being in this mental hospital, I've got really good at painting," and I come out and paint all this stuff.
That's exactly how it happens. It's weird because when they do this. When they explain this past, it does the kind of cliche flashback.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
I think it's even voiceover. Jake Gyllenhaal just randomly starts doing like a voiceover at some point. It just seemed a bit.
They did experiments on them. They electrocuted them and injected them with various things, and it was terrible.
Yeah, and as Jake Gyllenhaal's thinking about it, the guy is telling him, goes, "Ooga bugga!" and he sort of jumps in his skin. That doesn't happen. But I feel like it could happen in that sort of scene. So as they sell half of the art and they're making an absolute mint from it. Rene Russo, whatever her name is, and Josephina, they decide to stash away half of the art in some warehouse or something far away. The DIY guy says, "I can drive a car. I'm not just a DIY guy. I can drive a car."
I could drive a
got
car, right?
like an inferiority complex. That guy, I could eat cereals. I know I'm a DIY guy, but I could eat cereals.
You ever seen a man eat cereal before, or eat an old multi-pack, 8 little boxes of them,
Yeah,
even the ricicles?
It's like I can open a Satsuma in one go. Of course I can. What do you think's
I
wrong
could
with
look at a Satsuma and open it.
it? Yeah, and he does, and it's pretty amazing. But anyway, he's driving to wherever it is, and he starts to look at the art. I think he's going to steal some of the art. I think that's because
So he prizes open one of the boxes. He has a little look and he goes, "It's a picture of an old woman," and he rubs his hands together because he's well into that.
Ooh.
And he goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna." I think he just a part of him wants. So inspired. Part of him wants to. So earlier he says he looks at the art and he says something like, "It speaks to me." So clearly he's got some sort of connection to the art. So
Yeah.
whether he's going to steal it or what, but at the moment he hasn't actually
This is what I mean. He's
gained anything. He hasn't gained financially from the paintings. So
Yeah.
the sort of idea that these paintings are somehow haunted and the supernatural force is killing people who are basically gaining money from it, or maybe they know your intentions is to gain money
Yeah.
from it.
Yeah, it's weird. But he's lighting a cigarette, and the paintings do this thing every now and again where they kind of look like they're on fire a little bit. He suddenly burns up. He whips his vest up off. It's like,
Why does he not stop the car at any point during this?
yeah,
Like, if
it's the
that
first
happened,
thing to
you'd
do, yeah.
immediately stop. Like, it's not difficult to stop the car.
But
And
I
just
can drive a car and take my top off at the
put the
same
fire
time on
out.
fire.
It's almost like he's like, well, I've
Yeah.
got somewhere to be, so I might be on fire, but I'm going to keep driving the car. Stop the car.
Yeah, it's a busy world in America. You can't stop. It's a non-stop world of art. You can't stop to put yourself out on
Exactly,
fire.
man. Come
You're not
on.
gonna lose your job. He's got things to do. He's got a deadline later that night. He's got a Domino's pizza delivery run.
Yep, he's got it all going on. I'm not just a handyman, all right? I deliver Hawaiian pizzas to hungry students.
I've got
Okay.
podcast to record when he gets back.
Yes, he's doing podcasts on art.
Yeah.
He's doing podcasts on the 50 best and worst pieces of art.
Yeah. Okay, so but he crashes into a petrol station, and then as he gets out and his skin's all peeling, it looks pretty bad. He starts to he goes inside, tries to wash himself down, and then so I imagine if I saw this in the trailer, I'd be like, "Do you hear that?"
Yeah, I thought it was growling. That terrified me. What is that?
I think someone's got like a quad bike that they've been doing up.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was growling. It
Yeah,
scared me for a
definitely sounds
second.
like it, yeah.
You looked off screen as if to say, "Oh no, it's found me."
Like, yeah.
it's like the dogs from Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
What was? Oh yeah. So So if I saw this in a trailer, I'd be like, "Wow, what is this? This is insane. I have to watch it." But it's very short. Nothing really happens. So he's washing himself, and then the monkey's on one of those IKEA style store bought paintings, filler paintings. They
Yep.
kind of reach in and grab him and pull him into the painting.
Weird place to have a painting, like just above a sink.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd never put a painting there. There's quite a cool shot where it kind of pans around him and we see the monkeys sort of come to life and all jump down from the car. Well, they're
Yeah.
on a car, aren't they? Like doing something.
Yeah, I think so. Fixing it up
Yeah,
or
so they
something,
basically
yeah.
grab his head and we're assuming yank him into the painting or something.
We don't linger on it, do we? I feel
We
like
don't
it could have
linger too
gone. It could have gone a bit more violent with the deaths, like with this sort of death. I would have liked to have seen it stay on it for a bit longer. You don't have to stay on visually on the monkeys. But
Yeah,
you could
he
just.
could have fought his way.
Yeah,
out
exactly.
of
Yeah,
thing.
it's a bit
something.
goosebumps.
It was a bit goosebumps. It was. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so he goes missing, and then I'm not sure exactly what happens, but Rene Russo's character like finds out that he's gone, and she kind of thinks he's trying to stitch her up. So she
Yeah.
rings him and leaves him a voice message to basically say, "If you've knit those paintings,
Yeah.
I'm going to come down so hard on you, you're not going to do it. You'll never DIY again in this town."
Yeah,
Right?
he won't
Never.
do it himself ever again.
No.
Um,
And so then we're introduced as an opposing gallery owner, whose name is John Don Don.
John Dundon.
His name's John Don Don.
Yeah, some of the names in this are pretty ludicrous.
Yeah.
John
so
Don Don.
he's like hired a private investigator to basically find out about Deese's past, about his mental illness and all this shit. So he basically wants to feed the story to the press in order
Yeah.
to basically ruin,
Sabotage it. Yeah.
sabotage everything, so people won't want to buy his artwork.
So again,
but then
isn't he not profiting from it? If anything, he's
doing the opposite.
This is what I mean. I don't understand the rules of the game here. Like, what is the point? Unless it's just infecting and killing everyone. But that doesn't make sense either, because it doesn't.
That's annoying, isn't it?
That is annoying.
Yeah. So one thing I kind of thought about with this was the ring. So I thought about. So one thing is good about the ring is that obviously, immediately you know you're going to die because of this haunted videotape and seeing this thing. But there's a lot of good stuff in the ring. I'm going to talk about the American remake more so than the Japanese version at the moment. So there's a lot of good detective work done by Naomi Watts' character, finding out about the history of the videotape, kind of getting under the skin of it a little bit and trying to essentially save herself, and then in the second one, save her son. This is all good stuff. So we know what the end game is. She wants to somehow survive. But with this, there's not really any of that. Like, we don't know the rules of the game. We don't know the rules of how you can possibly survive from doing this, why it attacks people for doing A, B, and C. It kind of just goes around like
willy-nilly.
It goes around like Michael Myers, just slashing people up for essentially no reason.
But
that's kind of a thing.
This South African guy has nothing to do with it, really. He doesn't own any of the art, does he? He doesn't.
No. So what this film needed was potentially the private investigator character, or potentially Morph needed to take a more proactive role in trying to find something in Deese's past that explained everything and what the intention was of it, so he could somehow either reverse it or change it or stop it somehow.
I do understand, but I do feel like maybe the filmmaker was like, I don't want to go too standard horror movie. I still want to keep it in this sort of weird in-between place where it's the sort of satirical comedy with the horror ring element.
It could have done that with both, but I think it.
Yeah.
In terms of the horror elements, for me, it needed some direction or some explanation, because it seemed just very, very
paint by numbers,
very vague. Paint by numbers and very vague in terms of what the rules were.
So this bit here where the gallery owner, the South African gallery owner, dies. This is exactly what I mean in terms of it's just not a very interesting or well executed, scary, ghosty death, where he's like, he goes up to change a light bulb or turn a light off or something, and a hand.
Yeah, so I think he walked through his gallery. Like some things come on, like what's it? Projector thing comes on.
It seems like maybe the director isn't really a fan of horror movies. Do you know what I mean? Like he doesn't really want to.
But then again,
too much on these, or
like, how much of a horror movie was this supposed to be?
Yeah.
Do we know? Like, it's called a supernatural horror film, but I think from the trailer, from all of the promo stuff, and from a lot
music
of it,
and stuff. Like, yeah, I know what you mean.
Is it? Yeah, the intro music. What was going on with the intro music? Remind me.
It's like a where I don't know how to describe
where
it.
Everybody knows your name.
It was the Cheers theme music. It was.
Yeah, it was.
It was like
it really was.
It was an uplifting instrumental piece. It wasn't a.
Yeah. It was like orchestral, wasn't it? But it was kind of like
quirky indie movie orchestral thing. Yeah.
So maybe in terms of picking apart this film for its horror elements, it might be unfair, considering maybe it's not really a horror film. Maybe it wasn't made as a horror film, but maybe it was marketed as a horror film.
Yeah, I think maybe
who's to say?
We don't know what the filmmaker's intentions were. I think, if from what I can gather, they just wanted to have fun with the art scene, that pretentious side of it, which I do think they achieved quite well. But the horror movie stuff is a little bit lacking, and I think that's why people are watching this from the trailer going, holy shit, this is a weird, crazy, almost like Italian bonkers Fulci sort of horror film.
Can we take a bit of a side note here and just explain the sensationalism that modern horror movies are getting from the press? And by the press, I just mean like social media accounts, BuzzFeed, Lad Bible,
people are
all
saying
this stuff.
It's so scary they fainted.
This film is so scary, people vomited. Don't watch this film alone. You will die.
A guy's hamster watched this film and it exploded.
Yeah, what was that? Guys, what?
A guy's hamster watched this film and it exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically like, so we've got it for this film. We've got it. Bird Box was given the right raw treatment.
Was Veronica as well. I didn't watch it, but
yeah. So I mean, it's getting to a point where literally all film criticism from those sort of places just seems to mean nothing to me. And then it annoys me a little bit because a lot of people are going, "Oh my god, have you heard about this film? Oh my god, have you seen? People are throwing up and someone fell down the stairs and broke their leg just from thinking about it for a second."
Yeah.
And I saw that for this film. A lot of people are saying people are calling Velvet Buzzsaw the most terrifying film of the year. It's like fucking
that's almost
February the 1st.
Yeah, it's almost ludicrous. Yeah. Yeah. There's I think that's what it is. I think it's a thing where the expectations haven't been set properly and people are going into it expecting one thing and it's not that thing at all.
I mean, I think horror is in a great place at the moment, but I still think
need all this.
It doesn't need it. No, it doesn't need all this stuff because I think horror as a genre speaks for itself, and people take from horror, what they want from it. Like a lot of people go into a horror film and all they want is jump scares. That's what they want.
Yeah,
that's a scary film for them. Other people want atmosphere. Other people want visuals. Other people want good writing, good cinematography. Some people just go, whoa, Jesus Christ, oh fucking and they'll go, oh, it's 10 jump scares, and that is a 10 out of 10 film.
Yeah, it's similar like comedy, isn't it? Like some people just want a gags per minute sort of thing, and some people like Groundhog Day or something that's a little bit different. But yeah,
got a bit of essence to it, a little bit of sustenance.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so at the funeral for one of these guys, it'll be for the gallery owner, I think.
For John Don.
Mo John Don. The what's the name? Morph is pretty funnily critiquing everything from the music, the organ music, to
coffin,
the shit, like the colour of the coffin, like everything. Like it's just.
Would you want to be buried in there for eternity?
And then who I think now it's pretty quickly becomes Toni Collette's death.
Yeah, so I mean, I think initially Morph is starting to get sort of overwhelmed by all of his research into Deese, and there's a moment when he's getting busy with Josephina. I think this is the first time you start to see that Josephina is a bit of a twat. Like she's having sexual relations with Mr. Morph, and she's like, "Come on, concentrate on me, look at me, be in the moment. Oh yeah, this is great."
Yeah, and he's like seeing the paintings,
looking at the painting.
Yeah,
have you got a painting up on the wall?
Yeah,
of this man. You just get rid of it.
Yeah.
So he's looking at it. He's like, if you look at this painting long enough, it moves. And she's like, "But why have you got an erection?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, I didn't see that there."
Yeah. So they decide to go on a break or something.
Yeah, they kind of their relationship is really, really pushed into the background, and we sort of find out about different things that have happened with it, through different scenes. It's not like you don't actually see these things happen, really. There's a bit where they have a conversation. Wait, it's a little bit later, I think, but not long after this, Morph also discovers that Deese has been using blood in his paintings.
Yeah.
Because someone is obviously doing research on all the different paint types.
I think different bodily fluids, right? But like blood's the main one, and also when they pick off a bit of the blood it's like a pick in a scab, and it just seems to bleed as if it's like a fresh wound. Yeah. That is a creepy idea, and
it's a creepy idea. Again, I would like to have known more about the background of it here.
Yeah.
Like, what if they were victims of his, or something like that. I don't know. We kind of it's left quite ambiguous, but I guess that's kind of good.
Yeah. So Toni Collette, I don't understand. I think maybe her stuff could have been trimmed away from the film, because I don't really understand what her job was. Or she was trying to get certain pieces in a gallery, and she's trying to get rid of the up and coming artist section of the gallery.
I think she represented a few artists, and she wanted certain artwork to be put in this city gallery.
Yeah.
And there's this big interactive piece called Sphere, where you put your hand in, big sort of metallic sphere.
Yeah. Macaroni cheese. Yeah.
Macaroni cheese. Yeah.
And then she sticks her hand in. Again, there wasn't really too much build up to this. I just feel like there's something missing, because you just need to shove a hand in, and then it was quite an interesting visual where it's like a grinding noise, and then the blood's shot out the other holes.
So blood was shooting out some of the holes of this thing, and obviously her arm was torn off, and she sort of an thing, and then we kind of get a little bit of we get told that her body was there, but people came into the exhibition and thought she was part of it, and kids were like standing in the blood, playing in the blood. And I think then the only person who sort of realised maybe, oh fuck, it's a dead body, was Coco, who literally are only one of her only jobs in this film: answer the phone, get the coffee, find the dead bodies.
Yeah, and she did it pretty well, from what I can gather.
She finds dead bodies better
Very
than
good.
anyone else. Yeah. She screams every time.
Yeah. You need that. Otherwise people just think it's part of the art piece.
I find the first body, I'd scream. Find the second body, I might scream. Find the third body, I'd be like, for fuck's.
Me and Kat were talking about this. Like, if you walked into a room and you saw a mangled dead body, it doesn't matter in whatever state, I don't think I would scream.
I feel I'd just go, fuck, what the Jesus?
I think I would just go completely silent and
I
just
go, are you alright?
Yeah. Just kind of take it in. Like, I don't think screaming is a natural reaction. Unless it like fell on you, you know what I mean? If like,
yeah.
I mean, if something fell out, like a dead body fell out of a cupboard or something onto you. Unless it was doing that, I don't.
That don't really happen in real life, does it?
I bet it must have happened at least twice. I reckon.
Yeah, probably more than that.
2.5, 3, 4 times.
Wars and shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. If you're, in World War One, in the trenches and a head just flies past.
Oh god.
Probably happened. Yeah.
Yeah, so she discovers the body, calls the police. Again, she calls the police, but I don't think... Again, we don't see any police officers. Police are just like, had enough.
Don't get involved.
But yeah, it seems to be like... There's a spike in interest for the Deese exhibit, but Morph is kind of getting a little bit intense now about Deese. He's like, we got to get rid of this artwork. Him and Josefina break up, and there's a great bit on the phone where they're sort of arguing, and he's shouting at her down the phone, and she says something to him like, get fucked and lose my number. But then I thought, she rang him. I'd ring back to tell her that. I'd ring back to go, you told me to lose your number, but you rang me. So what did you lose my number, you prick?
Yeah, by that point he would have rang her back.
Yeah. Oh yes, a never-ending cycle. She's going out with someone else as well.
There's another artist who's a sort of
yeah,
underground. I don't want to say graffiti artist, but he does like
some graffiti
Banksy
stuff,
style stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Morph is quite angry because Josefina kind of made him not against his will, but against his sort of code of ethics, like write a bad review about her.
But there was another artist, wasn't there, who wrote a bad review, and that guy died.
He like crashed. He like he was in a coma, wasn't he? He drove his car into a wall or something because he hated it. So Morph, obviously, this is the first time where we see a character sort of have some sort of moral compass and have some sort of understanding about the cause things because of his actions, I guess.
Yeah. So
yeah, he begins to deteriorate and he's hallucinating all the time. He goes and gets his eyes tested at some point because he's like, I keep seeing shit, and they're like, your eyesight, you got 20/20 vision, mate.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm over here.
He goes, he goes, I'm over here, mate.
He goes through this gets a special preview of like an audio experience as well, and it's like these like speakers hanging from ropes, and he hears different voices, people saying this is your fault, that guy died, it's all your fault, you're a knobhead, you're such a knobhead, you are such a knobhead,
you're such a bloody knobhead.
and you left the cat out last night, kettle's on, oven's on, you should have changed the litter tray, all the sort of standard nagging constantly. So he has a breakdown,
standard nagging,
and then the guy comes in and says, oh, sorry for the delay, it's not, we're supposed to be starting the whale noises in a minute, so none of it actually happened. So he runs away. It kind of reminded me, I was getting some Roman Polanski vibes from this. Have you ever seen Ninth Gate? It's with
I've seen Ninth Gate with what's his name?
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Captain Jack Sparrow himself, Joni Deep.
Yeah, Joni Deep.
I know what you mean. Is he a writer in that? No, I'm thinking of Secret Window, isn't I?
So he's a what's the word? An old book finder, discoverer. He finds precious books and stuff.
So what do you do for a living?
An old
book finder. There's an old book out there, and I find it.
I think there's one of those going on Monster Jobs actually the other day. Old book finder, and so, but like there's a certain, and around a ghostwriter, there's a certain like tone where it just reminded me of Polanski. I'm not too sure what it was exactly, but I think it struck me when he ran away from that audio thing. It just gave me some Polanski vibes. So then I think we're starting to come towards the ends now.
Yeah, not long after this, Morph hires Coco as an assistant to help dispose of the artworks, and she tells him that his ex-boyfriend was paid by Rene Russo, to basically talk about his reviews before he posted them, wherever he posted them on LinkedIn, Tumblr, so that she could basically buy up stuff that she knew was going to get a good review from Morph the art man. There is a bit of a side plot here with John Malkovich's character, he's having
I don't think we saw him for a long. Oh yeah. So that's another thing that probably should have been trimmed from the story.
Yeah, I don't think it needed this now.
And so I feel like that's a big problem with these Netflix films and stuff that's going straight to. It doesn't have to go through the same sort of editing process, and you tend to find things. I just got a little bit too Suspiria. Just got about 20 minutes too much in there.
Little hanging on bits.
Yeah.
Where it kind of disrupts the momentum of the film. Dangly bits, yeah, dangly fatty bits. Yeah. That perhaps it's not necessarily doesn't mean I don't want any more of that character. It just perhaps means that we spend a little bit too long on, something that doesn't really add anything to the overall picture of the film. I guess.
Yeah. So now we've got so Josephina and Morph. Morph goes to a warehouse because he finds out there's more of his art, of Deez's art there. He's going to destroy it. I think he's on a mission now to stop it all. Josephina goes to... I don't know why she goes to the club to get her boyfriend a drink or something.
They go to some sort of gallery type thing. I'm not sure, but then her and her boyfriend. Well, I guess it's her new boyfriend. Maybe it's just a bit of fluff.
Yeah.
She says something to him, and he basically tells her where to shove it.
He was looking at Deez's art before, and he decides to go back to the artistic integrity side of things.
Yeah,
back to the street art and that. So
she tries to leave, doesn't she?
She tries to leave. She finds herself walking into a gallery that wasn't even there a second ago.
Suddenly appears. Got a load of graffiti, paintings on the wall.
Yeah, and at the same time, Jake Gyllenhaal's getting chased by Hobo Man, the robot art piece.
Yes, Hobo Man sort of turns up, and I guess this is quite creepy.
It is, but again, I just thought the execution just was lacking. There's very small chase scene.
Yeah, he kind of just chases him a little bit, and he seems to be a bit wonky, but then he starts sprinting like Usain Bolt.
Yeah, like a Kenyan.
He's Jamaican, Usain Bolt. But,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But then, so he catches Jake Gyllenhaal character, who at this point I feel like we're supposed to be siding with him. He's our conduit into the story, and then he dies so easily. There's no struggle really. He just sort of gives up. We don't even see him.
He just gets his neck snapped like a crackerjack.
Yeah. Yeah. He gets opened. If you ever, you buy those bake yourself cinnamon roll things. You've seen those? And then you get the dough, and you have to twist it. And then it starts to spill out.
Oh yeah. I feel like we get one of those noises from you at least every episode. I can't even do it. I can't do it.
No, it's good, wasn't it? Do again. Yeah, it's good.
That's good. So Josephina is in the which one?
No, I can't do it.
Oh, a little droplet. Can't do that.
I can't do it in a minute. Okay, so so at the same time, she gets all this paint starts.
Yeah.
Lay down the walls and that, and then goes up her.
Yeah, it goes up her, but it's it's almost like under her skin, in her skin, or so her body starts going all multicolored, which I thought would be pretty cool. But she screams. Don't like it.
Like when you get a haircut, you didn't really want. Yeah. or you find a dead body jumping on you.
Yeah. Do you like this haircut? I think that's a yes.
She bloody loves screaming for it, and then. So I don't really know what happens to her either. Oh yeah, so the gallery shuts, and then she's part of the graffiti now.
I thought that's quite spooky. That would be quite a good visual, but I think it just looked a little bit shit. It looked like
goosebumps again, a bit too.
Yeah,
goosebumps.
Very goosebumps. It was like she looked like it was a picture of her, but she had a shit Photoshop filter over it.
It did. It looked like one of those
One of those apps you get.
Yeah.
One of those apps that people use and they send it to celebrities and go, I've done a bit of fan art of you, and they retweet it going, great fan art. It's like, it's just a fucking app.
Yeah. You sounded really passionate about that. You should haunt people who use that art in.
As soon as they do that hashtag, I'll just appear.
Yeah.
And break their neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, all of our main characters are dead.
Oh, yeah.
Coco finds Morph's body. Jesus Christ, let it be someone else. I think that's body number 4 that she finds, maybe 3.
Now we're left with Velvet Buzzsaw Lady.
Yeah, so Rene Russo, she becomes super nervous. She gets rid of all the Dees paintings, and then she hires some people to basically get rid of every piece of art from her house because she thinks she's going to be attacked by a cereal box or something.
Yeah.
And then the Velvet Buzzsaw tattoo on her neck just comes to life. Spins.
Saws her head off?
I guess saws her head off. I'm not
I don't
sure.
know if it does. I think we don't even see... we don't see too much gore in this.
No. So there's a bit of blood, but that's pretty much it. And then Coco's like going somewhere, and she sees like a homeless man like putting up some of Deese's paintings to sell, and someone comes along and goes, how much for that one? He goes, $5. And so selling them. So who is everyone going to die now? Is he going to die because he sold the paintings? Are the people who bought the paintings going to die?
I guess so.
Is anyone game?
Still profited off it, isn't he? So
if you drive past and look at the paintings, are you going to die?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. I think so. Who knows? And also, during the credits, John Malkovich is on the beach drawing lines in the sand, doodling in the sand. Yeah,
because earlier on he was going to go to Rene Russo's beach house, wouldn't he, to try and rediscover his passion for drawing blobs and shit.
Yeah.
So there we go.
That's what he was doing, drawing blobs and shit. So there we go. The trivia. Are you ready for some?
Oh yes, I got some of you.
Number 1. It was difficult to find. The term Velvet Buzzsaw has an explicitly sexual origin related to what?
Velvet Buzzsaw.
Just for, I don't know how you can say this out. Like, if you do know the answer, I don't know if there's a way for you to say this without feeling a little bit dirty.
Sick.
Yeah.
A little bit, like disgusting or just sexually explicit?
Sexually perverted.
No, I
don't know.
Is it
coming across like a
So
nun.
all I can think of Velvet Buzzsaw is that obviously the band Velvet Revolver.
What does that mean?
A great band, but I always used to get a bit annoyed by it because it was like, oh, let's find something soft and delicate and then an instrument of death and put those things together. It kind of felt like that. Velvet Buzzsaw is a bit like, because if you had a Velvet Buzzsaw, it'd be shit.
That is true. Yeah. Not quite for anything. Yeah.
I don't know. Is it tromboning someone?
I don't know what that means. But
is it
trombone.
Is it rimming? Is it rimming?
It's tromboning like when you're trying to give someone a blowjob from behind, and then you're playing it.
That'd be difficult, wouldn't it? I think it's where you're giving the anus a treat, but also grabbing the penis. I mean, I don't know why I'm doing it in this situation, but I might be.
Yeah,
and you're doing
it works. So you got both hands. You got one hand. One hand doing the.
Possibly.
And with one doing the notes. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, one hand's doing the notes, and you're at the back doing the. Yeah. I don't know. Is it rimming?
No, otherwise no. So Velvet Buzzsaw relates to cunnilingus.
Ah, well, that's a lot more vanilla than what I suggested.
Yeah, I do feel like a bit of a nun for saying, "Oh, you gotta get embarrassed."
Cunnilingus. So what's the Velvet Buzzsaw bit like? I'm going to give you a Velvet Buzzsaw, or we're doing the Velvet Buzzsaw, or
doing the Velvet Buzzsaw. I don't think it's a position in the Kama Sutra or anything. It's not the Velvet Buzzsaw. I don't know. I think it's just. I'm
just eating the pink taco.
Yeah, I'm working on the Velvet Buzzsaw. I don't know. I've got some jobs to do.
Is that
get out the Velvet Bus?
when your tongue goes limp and your tongue just stops working?
It turns to velvet. It's
too much information.
As useless as a Velvet Buzzsaw, maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Chocolate teapot, Velvet Buzzsaw.
Number 2. So with Netflix films, we have no idea what a film's box office is anymore. But I can tell you how much it costs to make a film. So can you guess the budget of this film?
Oh. Interesting. Let's say 80 million. That's probably way too much.
It's way too much. It's 21 million, which is still a lot.
Yeah. Why did I say 80? Do you know why I said 80? I watched a documentary about The Matrix the other day, and it said that was 80. It's stuck in my head.
That's what it is. Inception.
I blame that. I
always say
blame The Matrix.
Inception. Whenever someone has an idea, it's Inception.
Inception. 21 million. I said 80. Jesus.
Yeah.
Imagine how good it would have been if I had the budget of 80.
Yeah.
Vigo from Ghostbusters definitely would have been in it.
Yeah. Number 3. Who are... So I couldn't find too much trivia about this film per se, but so I had to think laterally. So who are Jake Gyllenhaal's godparents?
Who are his godparents?
Yeah.
Let's just try and think.
They're people that you know, like famous people, not like famous people you know personally.
Are they Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn?
That's a really good guess. It's actually Paul Newman is his godfather, and Jamie Lee Curtis is his godmother. Apparently, I think we talked about this before. Jake Gyllenhaal used to read the Halloween scripts or something for Jamie Lee Curtis. He used to give feedback on them and stuff. I think so. That rings a bell.
Wait, what? Like the newer Halloween films? You mean?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, where was it? For 6-month-old him, like
I've got some notes.
I've got some notes. I was terrible at this film.
Yeah.
Even his eyes then were like, whoa.
I think Jake Gyllenhaal, his parents are kind of film. I think his dad's a film director and his mother works in film as well. And Maggie. and Maggie Gyllenhaal, his sister, is.
They don't look the same at all, do they?
I don't know. I think they've got something. They've got similar faces. They've got similar genes. They've got similar DNA.
They've got similar Levi's on.
Yeah. There's that tiger again. So, number 4. Which of these did director Dan Gilroy write on? Was it A Notepad, B, Kong Skull Island, or C, The Sixth Sense? Which of they did he write on?
Well, that's 3 very different.
Yeah.
Usually I could try and work out what the red herring is, but
yeah.
Let's say I don't think it would have been Sixth Sense because doesn't Shyamalan write all his own shit? So let's say Kong Skull Island because that seems a bit out there for you to have mentioned that.
Yeah, he wrote on Kong Skull Island with Jordan Voight Roberts and someone else.
Skyland.
Skyland.
He wrote on Kong Skyland. Can't even bother to split up words anymore.
No. I've got a bit of a velvet buzzsaw thing going on my tongue. I can't talk anymore. So, number 5. Jake Gyllenhaal is supposedly the inspiration behind which pop song? It's a big pop song. It's one of the ones that all the kids know.
Oh God!
Oh, fucky God!
What, like a recent one?
Yeah, I can hum the tune if you'd like to phone a friend.
Big pop song by like a solo male.
Is the inspiration behind which hit pop song? And I can hum the tune if you want me to.
Jake Gyllenhaal, yeah, go on.
That's what you get.
What? I don't know. Give me a hint. Just give me a clue. And that's a really good clue, humming it, but...
So it's a Mr. or Mrs. Taylor.
Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift with... I can't even name a Taylor Swift song. Jesus. I'll give up. Tell me.
We Are Never Getting Back Together by Taylor Swift.
Oh, so why is he the thing? Is that because she split up with him?
Yeah, I think they were going out at one point.
Did they go out with each other? She's gone out with everyone, hasn't she? She's gone out of them all. She's gone out with you. She got out with me.
Yeah. But there you go. You got most all of them right. Now time to rate the film.
9 out of 10. Yeah, so
9 out of 10. Okay, interesting.
No, not this film. Sorry, Gilroy.
Not this. Like you couldn't even let me joke about it for too long. So no, not this film. No.
It's hard to say really because I think after I watched it, I thought, yeah, that was pretty cool, kind of interesting. But as I've given it more thought, as time's gone on, I've realised I didn't really like it very much at all. It's definitely not the kind of film. It's definitely not the kind of film I think I'd ever want to watch again.
Yeah.
And
the 3 steps that it took you to leave from the sofa to the bathroom, you toilet is very close to your sofa. It declined.
And I'm going to go around and find all the BuzzFeed, Lad Bible, Uni Lad articles that say Velvet Buzzsaw is the most terrifying film of all time. And I'm going to find them, and I'm just going to comment prick on every single one. But yeah, it's disappointing because I think the cast is great. I love everyone. I love Gyllenhaal. I love Toni Collette.
Yeah.
I love who else? Old Malkovich. I thought he was good for his tiny little thing.
He does play artistic integrity very well. Like that's his forte.
I honestly reckon I can't give it any more than a D+.
Interesting that you would have gone for that.
I was going to go for a C. I think initially I would have said C, but as time's gone on, it's deteriorated in my head.
Oh no. So I put exactly that, a D+ as well.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, it's that shocking.
D+ as well. God, we've really gone to town on this.
Up. Yeah. I just think the same thing. I just think it's all right. I get a bit annoyed when I saw people saying, "Oh, I only lasted an hour and it's boring as shit." So I turned out because it's not that bad. Like
that is annoying. Yeah.
It's all right, but
I find that with any films though. Whenever I walked out of the cinema, I just switched off. It's dead boring. I just think I got to see it through.
Yeah. I just think, have a bit of patience. Jesus. I mean, get your phone out for a bit, I guess. Just, I don't know, just turn it off.
Just twiddle on your phone for a bit.
Also, because this film, it is at least a little bit interesting. Like, it's not completely
void of things. I think one of the reasons my rating is so low is because I am judging it as a horror film. Like, it's marketed as a horror film. Is it really a horror film? I don't know. It is like a cutting sort of take on the art industry and art world, but with horror elements.
Well, so Dan Gilroy, the last film was Nightcrawler. That was like a take on very real horror of a psychopath in LA News, that sort of career. And then this should have been, in my opinion, a follow-on tonally to that, but in the LA art scene. Like, it should have been more real, like more of a sort of a real horror, rather than like tacking on this ring element, this sort of haunting horror, which was kind of interesting. But I just think this film would have been way stronger without that stuff. Yeah. It should have just focused on the real side of it. Yeah, I think you're correct there, Luke. I can't disagree with anything you said there, and I won't. And you good. Okay, so next week we are doing Trick or Treat. It feels a bit weird doing it not at Halloween, but just the way it lines up. Yeah, I suppose you're right, sunshine. Yeah, but I've never seen it. I remember liking it. I remember quite liking it quite a lot. So another new one for me. We did Brain Dead a couple of weeks ago. Never seen that before, and I've never seen Trick or Treat. Lovely. Okay, so this show is brought to you by Hawk and Cleaver. Head over to hawkandcleaver.com. Become a patron over at patreon.com/Hawk and Cleaver. Thanks to Kovac Kalman for our theme music. Thanks to Acast for hosting the show. Thanks to the listeners. If you enjoyed the show, please consider giving us a rating and review in iTunes, and remember to subscribe. And thanks to my co-host Ben for being a right or a dude. Thank you very much, Luke. It's been a pleasure as always. Lovely job, Lou. All right, out.